Well, computers are machines. Computers are kind of machine. We can't just jump straight into computers. If we're thinking about machines, we got to start with something more comprehensible. Computers are like incomprehensible. That's part of the whole premise of this podcast. It's hard to think about computers. You can't just dive right in. Let's think about some simpler machines. Let's think about what machines do in a concrete way. All right, let's talk business. Let's talk business. All right, yesterday we talked about statements 5 and 6. Statement number 5 is the arrangement of materials inside a computer determines or controls where the watts from the power supply go, specifically the set of which devices get energized sufficiently to work, i.e. behave as intended by their designers. That's statement 5 with all the caveats. If you want caveats or parentheticals, have been excluded in my speech. Statement number 6, the set of devices within the computer that are energized at time t determines which applications of force, such as key presses, will cause other devices, such as pixels, to be energized at time t plus 1, the moment after force is applied. Okay? Kind of heady, abstract. Let's get more specific and concrete. Machines are, and I'm just going to, there's no other way for me to do this but to walk through the way that I had to write it up, because otherwise it would be clunky. So we're going to do that. Machines are objects that can do work. Think levers, engines, computers. Doing work means ultimately moving matter or energy. Think moving rocks, moving air, moving water, moving air under the wing of a plane, moving sunlight so that it's focused where you want it to be, moving human beings so that they're where you want them to be or doing what you want them to be doing. So machines move matter and energy, and they usually do it for humans, although they can do it for other machines these days. Either they do it for humans having fun or for humans who want to make money. Let's focus on money, business machines. Why? I don't know. Just it's easier. The motivation is easier to understand. Who knows what different people think is fun. Suppose that the matter you desire to move is other humans, from outside your shop to inside your shop. Now you need to be with me here, you need to picture a cold, dark shop. This is like 18, not even 18. You don't even have a candle. For some reason, you never got into candles, but electricity has suddenly become available to you. Okay, you want to move humans from outside your shop to inside your shop. Can a light bulb circuit help? Yes, of course it can. Get the electrical energy source, build a circuit, connect the two, and your shop is open at night. Now, before you had the light bulb, the energy source, the copper wires, the light bulb, your shop was closed at night because it was dark, okay? Now it's not. The little machine, the electrical machine, helped you. You're open at night now. Why don't you connect the energy source to something else, like a heater? Now the shop is open and warm. It's open in the wintertime. That's excellent. Okay, now connect the energy source to a record player. Now you've got some atmosphere, a record player. This is a weird time in history where there were no candles but light bulbs and record players and, who knows, heaters. Who knows what time, but this is a weird time in history. Now connect an LED. Oh yeah, there were LEDs too. See, I don't even know when this was. Connected to an LED. Now the shop, and it's a colored LED, it's colorfully lit. Now your shop has music and colors, and now connect a rectangular array of LEDs. Rectangular array. Just, you've got 20 LEDs, you're gonna need more than that in a second here, but let's say you got 100 LEDs, you do a 10 by 10 rectangle of LEDs, but we'll need, 1,000. So what is that? Okay, getting bogged down in the details. Now the shop has an illuminated board. Shop doesn't really need an illuminated board yet, but I think whoever your electrical engineer is on site at this shop where you're selling whale oil or whatever the hell you're selling has a sense that maybe an illuminated board of LEDs might be good for something. Now connect each LED on the illuminated board to an on-off switch. See, this guy knows what he's doing, this electrical engineer of yours. The board can spell out open or closed now, making it a sign. Now your rectangular arrangement of LEDs isn't just a bright light source. You can turn them all off and only turn on the ones that spell out the word open. Just flip all those switches on. These are all manual switches, right? We're not doing any electronic or electrical switching yet. But now you have a sign. It says open. That's even better. That's going to move matter, right? People don't want to go to a shop that looks closed. Now, I know people don't tend to do this with LEDs these days. They do these days. For a long time, though, they used neon gas in tubes. Anyway, we're not going to deal with that. Now connect the open LEDs to one switch. one switch. And the closed, because you're spelling out the word closed when you want the shop to be closed with a different combination of LEDs, connect the closed LEDs to another switch. Now, let's just assume for a second that there's no overlap. So you can use maybe left-hand, right-hand side of the sign so that no single LED is in both the words open and closed. This is a complicated time. They didn't really know what they were doing at this time. Now, because all those LEDs that spell out the word open and close are now connected to one switch each, so there's a switch for open and a switch for closed, things are easier. Okay, great. Just changing, the wires a little bit made things easier. Remember, we're trying to move matter. We're trying to do work. If we can find an easier way to do it, we should take it. You're with me. Okay, now connect the two switches to a clock. What is a clock? What is a clock? Don't even try and think about it. Just assume we have there are lots of different ways you can achieve a clock. It doesn't have to be something fancy. You can, hourglasses are really simple, but you can even be more advanced with simple stuff like that. Okay, the clock movements are stable, i.e. predictable with respect to time. Well, however you built your clock, it's a predictable moving device, right? So we can time travel and give instructions in the future on a specific physical part of the clock itself. So we're not really time traveling. It's always now, right? Okay. You can't time travel and give instructions to your LED sign circuit in the future. But if you connect it to a clock that moves predictably with respect to time, then the different parts of the clock are going to be in certain positions in the future unless induction doesn't hold up and the world becomes completely absurd, which probably won't happen while you're running your little whale oil business or whatever this is. Okay, so the clock enables you to sort of time travel and give instructions to your circuit in the future. That seems like it might help with things, make them easier. Now the sign automatically switches from open to closed based on your instructions. The clock moves on its own, but you choose the position of the clock that completes the circuit and the position that breaks the circuit. And we've also got to specify here that you need. Okay, give me a second here. I kind of overlapped my chronology here, but we're going to explain why you can light up when it's closed, light up one set, and when it's open, light up another. But you're with me. Okay, you've encoded the meaning of the shop is open, quote unquote, and the shop is closed, quote unquote, by representing those states with a clock that sometimes completes a circuit and sometimes doesn't. This is code. It's kind of code. I think it's not an impossible stretch to say you've encoded the meaning of we're open and we're closed physically in an artifact, in an object, and in particular in a machine. You didn't just, this isn't a sundial, right? Okay, this is a thing that can do work. You've encoded this we're open and we're closed meaning in a machine that can do work. This last step of handing control of existing machines, your little on-off sign circuit, to other machines, your clock, causes your future bodily energy needs for this repeated task to collapse to zero. Now, I don't know how long your clock is going to run. Is it an atomic clock or is it like, something else, water clock or something? But as long as that machine runs as you intended it and desired it to run, and your circuit doesn't corrode or something else, and copper doesn't corrode, it's great. Your bodily energy needs to do this work have collapsed to zero. And it's a repeated task. That's a big deal. The work is now being done by the electrical energy source and the arrangement of matter that you made. This is automation. What else? Automation. We just achieved automation in this shop of ours. Okay, other things we can connect to the clock. The heater. Turn it off at night, turn it on during the day. The music. Turn it off at 6, turn it on at 6, off at 3. What if we don't care what time something happens, but under what circumstances something happens? Okay, so like we know every day, turn on this, turn off that sort of thing. But what if it's like, I don't really, I don't want the open sign to be on like no matter what, like that time of day, or let's see what happens if we do something other than key off of time. Connect the open sign to the door lock. Unlocked turns it on. Locked turns it off. Okay, so now when I arrive at the shop, okay, it's my shop. I have to tell the truth. This is my place. I built it. I'm proud of it. When I unlock the shop every morning, I connected my lock to the circuit that's connected to the power supply and the LED on sign. When I do that, the open sign comes on. Okay, I know it's simple, but I did it. Let's also connect the open sign to the heater, We don't want customers to come in. We don't want customers coming if the heat is out, right? So we can say that if the heater's not on, the open sign shouldn't be on either. And if we connect the door lock to the sign via the heater, okay, so we put them in what's called series, then the open sign only gets power if the door lock is open and the heater is on. This is an AND gate. This is, if you've heard of logic gates, which these logic gates are the core of computing. If you haven't heard of them, it's just this. The circuit is not complete unless both conditions are in the desired state. You can call that state true, each one being true, but really it's easier to think desired state because you can make the circuit on or off depending on what you want, the desired state of the thing, like the door lock. We don't want the door lock to be closed like you'd think of a switch. We want it to be open, but we can easily make the switch on the other side of the door lock inside so that the circuit completes when the lock is open, that sort of thing. Okay, we're encoding our desired behavior in the machine, and it seems to be going well. The electrical energy can only power the open sign if it has a path through the door lock and the heater. And by the way, don't do this in real life. You don't want to be running the same amperage through a door lock and an LED sign that you are a heater. But anyway, we'll set aside a quantity of electrical energy for now, which can be easily controlled by little intermediate devices. If either of these things isn't in the desired state, either the door lock or the heater, the open sign will be off. If both are in the desired state, the electric current will happen and the sign will light up. Can we make Okay, so this is the thing that's sort of out of order. I should have explained earlier how we make the closed sign come on let's talk. Can we make it light up closed when either the door is locked or the heater is off? Of course we can. Yes, connect the closed sign switch to the power supply using a new second circuit from the power supply, so that if the door is locked or the heat is off, the electric current has a path back to the closed switch, back through the closed switch, and back to the source. A circuit obtains, and the closed sign gets power. Yeah, I kind of botched the writing of that. Sorry about that. If both are true, the closed sign lights up. But if neither is true, so if one is true, the closed sign lights up because the electricity has a path. If both are true, the sign lights up because the electricity has two paths. But if neither are true, if the door is locked and the heater is off, then the door is unlocked and the heater is on. That means neither the desired states for this circuit are true. Then the closed sign comes on. Did I say all that correctly? You get the idea. Okay, the point is that if we arrange the wires, the energy source, and the devices in a way that they come on when we want them to come on, and they turn off when we want them to turn off, we're doing automation using electric circuits. Part of automation is encoding the logic. So when we were talking about if this and that, or that's logic. And the circumstances, the door is locked, the heater is off, etc., of what we want to happen, sign being on, sign being off, in physical materials. We are encoding all of these states of the world in the physical materials. That's the machine that we're building to do our work for us. All these things could be done by someone reaching around and doing them, but people don't want to do that. We want to build machines that have the information, the desired states encoded in them. This is automation based on the three things we can measure: time, indirectly by predictable, regular physical patterns; space, by using causality to transmit coupled states over wires from doors to LEDs; and properties, the charge of electrons. Okay, so we're a bit more concrete about machines that do work, machines that do business work. We haven't talked computers yet, but we're getting very close. We're talking logic, we're talking encoding, but we're not really at the point that modern computers are, but we'll get there. I think we'll get there next. Co5, Monday, February 5th, 2024. Started at 5:20 p.m. Eastern, signing off.